Hi, my name's Alana and I'm a very active member of the Vic Park community. I'm involved in a bunch of projects, including the Once Upon a Wall, which was an awesome arts project where I got to teach people how to basically apply graffiti and stencils, which is a pretty awesome thing. I help out with Vic Park Soup. I'm a member of the Vic Park Collective. I've also been involved in the 12 Little Things project. So I like to get out and I like to get involved and do things, you know, hands-on. It's the best approach ever. So right now I'm working on a project called Common Ground. We're building a community garden behind the Christian Centre for Social Action on Albany Highway. Basically, at the back was an area that I'd walk past every day, and I just thought this was such a neglected space and we could give it so much love. So basically I got a whole bunch of people together and we've started building a garden.
Well, I have been quietly standing in the shade all of my days. Watch the sky breaking on the promise that we made. All of this rain.
The whole aim of this project is to grow produce such as fruit and vegetables, so then the Christian Centre for Social Action can use them for their soup kitchens, which they have on a Monday to Friday, and then the waste that's generated from the produce will go back into worm farms and into the composting systems that we have, and then eventually that will go back onto the garden. So it's really important in sustainability to close the loop or to close that cycle, and by making your own soil you're going to have the best produce that's available. I was fortunate enough to go to university and get a degree in marine science. I have a Bachelor of Applied Science and Environmental Management, which is like this really big title that I haven't really used much. So I guess what I do is I go out there and I learn from people and the people within my community and the people around me. You know, I became a member of a community garden to learn how to garden, help out with the Transition Network because I believe in many of their values. And I just want to learn as much as I possibly can so I can share that with others and ultimately be able to live a fully self-sustained lifestyle. I want my chickens and I want my little pigs and my bees, which is quite a forward-thinking hippie approach, but you know what, I'm not really worried. It's about doing what I can, which is the best for me and the best for the planet. And that's something I hold very close to my heart. So I guess what I've done is I've decided to share my knowledge and my enthusiasm with the community and help them build a community garden. And I thought that that would be a fantastic idea. I guess it's quite a proud moment, and I'm so grateful and humbled to know that I'm not the only one who cares about the community, and to find out that people really want to make a difference. And that's what it's all about, you know, we have to step up and we have to make a difference. We're all a part of this community.
Many a night I found myself with no friends standing near. All of my days.
Hi, my name's Maria. I live here with my family, my husband Luke and my two sons Ethan and Logan. My eldest son Ethan was diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome when he was 2 years old. He's now 4.5. At first, when we were given the diagnosis, we had no idea what it was. Most people, Fragile X is something that they've never heard of. And it turns out it's a intellectual disability. We got a call from our paediatrician on a Saturday morning after months of waiting, and were asked to come in first thing Monday morning. So we knew they'd found something. So we were pretty nervous waiting to go in to see him. And when we were told that he had Fragile X syndrome, Luke and I didn't really know what to expect. it's quite a scary thing when the paediatrician tells you that your son has a lifelong condition, no cure for it, and you realise that the journey you think you're on as a parent is completely changing in that one instance. It was a bit heartbreaking. In that one moment, I felt that everything around me just came closing in, and I was angry, an overwhelming amount of guilt. So Luke and I went away and we did as much research as we could and found out as much information as we could and figured out the best way forward for Ethan and what we needed to do for him to give him the best life possible. So at that stage we also had a 4-month-old son, Logan. So even though he was developing so differently, the paediatrician was quite certain that he didn't have it because he was just so different. But just to, just to be sure, we sent him off for the blood tests just to see if he did have it, just to cross that off the list. And as it turns out, we got the results 5 months later that Logan too also has Fragile X syndrome. So both our boys have this condition. It's an intellectual disability, so it means that their development will be delayed. They'll face challenges the rest of their lives. It's very similar to autism. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. So once we got Logan's diagnosis and we realised that both our boys had Fragile X syndrome, you can't help but feel angry. It was such a moment in time that we'll never forget. But soon you realise that being angry doesn't make it better. It's not going to change their condition. So we took some time out, we had a cry, shed some tears, and educated ourselves on what we could do best to help them and give them the best life possible. So we've put them into an early intervention program at Kids Therapy Centre, and there they do their physiotherapy, speech therapy and occupational therapy. And we have seen such a huge improvement in both of them since doing this.
Hi, my name's Lisa and I live across the road. I'm a neighbour of Maria's. We've lived in Kensington for the past 14 years, and Maria and Luke moved in 2 years ago, and since they have become our neighbours, our community has just become so much closer. Everybody has begun to meet everybody, and my children play with her children, well, most days. We go to the park together, and our girls have learnt so much from Maria and Luke's little boys. They're very vibrant children, and our girls just love them, and we go swimming with them. We send food to each other's homes, and we go to the park together and play, and it's just been a real privilege to watch these little boys grow, and when they get a new word we all delight in it, and when they learn to swim or duck dive or do something that sometimes can be quite tricky. It's just a wonderful blessing to just be able to experience that with Maria and Luke, and know that they're there for us, and we're always going to be there for them. It's just a real privilege.
So even though both our boys have Fragile X syndrome, they are completely different. The severity between each person with the syndrome varies greatly. So we like to say they're like day and night. Ethan suffers a lot from anxiety, overwhelmed in loud and busy situations, can't cope if things happen that he's not prepared for. If someone suddenly comes home and he doesn't know that they're coming over, it can lead to a huge meltdown. Or on the flip side, Logan's quite social. He loves being around people and other kids, and he loves when people come over. He gives the best welcome homes and cuddles and kisses. So raising two boys with the same syndrome who are completely different leads to so many different challenges. Living with Fragile X is tough, I'm not gonna lie. It's tough, like everything we do is hard. So even though we have a lot of tough moments in every day, we also have a lot of fun, happy moments. They are the best of mates. They love getting into mischief together. Logan's often leading Ethan astray. They love playing with water. They enjoy the simplest of things. Watching the buses drive past brings them absolute joy every single day. Watering the garden and swimming in the pool and watching the wiggles. They've just taught us to enjoy the simple things and really appreciate the small moments in life and not to take them for granted. Yeah.
How are you, Christine?
Good, Justin. How we going? Hey, going good.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
I'm Justin.
We've lived together for just under a year.
We volunteer at the Tech Hub together.
And you're interested in computers as
Yeah,
well?
interested in computers and electronics and yeah,
Try to help people at the Digital Hub?
yeah, try to help people at the Digital Hub with their tech problems and stuff.
That's exactly what I do as well. I go to the gym, and we're also bus enthusiasts. Just for that in good measure.
So you're bus enthusiasts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right, so tell me a little bit about that. Like,
he is more than I am.
We're about equally, really. That's actually how we met, through a certain group of people that we happen to know, and in
Yeah.
a group, start talking to each other, and then
Yeah,
decided to meet in person, and the
Yeah.
rest is history.
so you guys met on a bus?
yeah,
Yeah,
We met in person at Warwick train station in 2013.
yeah, okay.
yeah,
And you guys just sort of bumped into each other
yeah.
and the rest is history?
We started hanging out, we
Yeah.
started talking, and yeah, we've been best mates ever since, pretty much.
Oh, that's awesome.
At times, I'll be around. Pick up your phone. I'll be around.
So tell me a little bit more about what you guys do at the Digital Hub and the people that you help, and what sort of work that you do to help people on the computers.
Mainly help people like their tech issues and yeah,
Yeah, I've been working here for about 18 months now, just over 18 months,
I've been volunteering for about 6 months.
and Easy is a wonderful bloke to work with, so Christine and Francis are wonderful ladies as well. And we all help out our clients. It's all very entry level stuff, so we're teaching like the very basics, like even like how to use a computer generally. Even like some people are just even confused when it comes to using the mouse.
What do you enjoy doing at the Digital Hub? What do you enjoy the most?
Helping other people with their tech issues and making other people feel happy and yeah.
Awesome.
That's exactly what I like to do. That's what my main thing. I like to make others happy.
Well, I'm John Stevens. I'm an architect. I teach architecture at Curtin University, although these days I spend more time administering than anything else. I'm head of the School of Built Environment at Curtin University. I left school at 17 and went to work for the Metropolitan Water Supply as a cadet cartographer. That didn't last very long. I ended up working in the north of the state for an oil survey crew, digging holes and blowing up things. And then I ended up in the army for 2 years, and finally, after a number of jobs, ended up as an architect and then as an electrician lecturer in architecture at Curtin University. I've lived in Victoria Park for 35 years. In fact, I've lived in the area of Victoria Park for probably over 40 years. I've seen a lot of changes in the area over the time we've been there. When we first moved in, we moved into a house that was pretty much derelict, and to some extent that reflected the tone of the neighbourhood. One of my areas of interest is war memorials. It's one of the areas I research in as an academic. I've visited and recorded war memorials right across the world. One of the interesting things about Victoria Park is the war memorial in Albany Highway, the cross that many people see. A lot of people don't know, of course, that that's the second war memorial on the site. The first one was a soldier statue on guard on top of a plinth in the where the cross now stands. Unfortunately, the artist for that memorial, Pietro Porcelli, decided to cast it in concrete, which was a rather novel thing to do in 1917, and it rapidly deteriorated, probably something like Victoria Park in many ways, and until it continued to deteriorate. Bits fell off it right until 1957, when the residents and the RSL of Victoria Park finally persuaded the Perth City Council to replace it, and they replaced it with a cross of sacrifice. One of the first things that the new Victoria Park Town Council did in 1997, when they were reconstituted, was to refurbish the gardens in which the memorial was, and remove a very large block of toilets that had been placed right beside the war memorial in the meantime. So that, in a sense, that regeneration of the gardens also meant a regeneration of Victoria Park, and I guess it's even now it's a pretty nice place to go and visit. That's the other thing, I guess. I've been going to the Anzac Day ceremonies for probably the last 15 years. And one thing you do notice is the numbers of people, the increasing numbers of people that go to the memorial, and also the type of people, the range of people going to the memorial. In the last 1915 Anzac Day dawn service, there are a lot of young people there, and in fact there are more people there than I've ever seen before. I guess that in a sense that the future of the town is pretty bright.
Hi everybody, my name is Miriam. I live around Vic Park. We've moved to the Huntingdale area almost 3 years ago. My family migrated to Australia in 1994, and I did all of my schooling here, including university and work. Increasingly through work, I was finding that there was something sort of missing in my life, I guess, and I started looking into the community space. Along with a friend of mine, we've set up an organization. It's an NGO called Muslim Youth WA. Through that work, I was introduced to the Halal Food Bank project, which is actually something that is very, very close to my heart. So through my work with Muslim Youth WA and trying to understand this concept of the Muslim Australian Muslim identity, we kind of uncovered so many existing needs. So one of those needs was this need for halal food in the service industry. Unfortunately, poverty and food insecurity in Australia isn't very well understood, because we look around and, you know, we feel so privileged, and a lot of us are, but there's a lot of people that are struggling. So what this gives me and my team an opportunity to do is to actually provide a service to supplement existing agencies and what they do. What we're doing now is aiming to pack at least 100 food boxes a month. So the food items that we put in there are milk, starch items such as flour, pasta, rice, sugar, canned vegetables and fruit, and some form of canned protein and some oil. We package that up, and we're aiming to go beyond the 100 boxes a month mark. So fingers crossed. It's a project that I'm enormously proud of being part of. I feel so privileged to meet people every day that have this enormous appetite to contribute locally. So recently we ran a competition where we actually put a boys team to compete with a girls team to see who could pack 50 boxes the fastest. In this case, in this event, the boys team won, and they did a fantastic job. And at the end of it, we still ended up with 100 boxes. So linking back to our monthly target of 100 boxes, we were able to meet that, which is fantastic. Thank you, Perth, for making that happen. And a lot of people got to experience what service is like in a fun environment. And we're really trying to do more and more of those kinds of activities to get people more interested in helping out and in volunteering. The one message that I'd like to give to my community is just to look around you and to see all of the various community service organizations and charities that are working really, really hard to help people in need. Whether that need is for a temporary period or whether it's ongoing. But I really believe as a community we can pull together and step up and really support the vulnerable people in our community, because ultimately that's the kind of world I want to live in.
Hello, my name's Roger Meeks. I consider myself a people-centric engineer. I did train as an engineer, but these days people are equally as interesting as any machinery ever was. All the studies I've done have helped me develop into a very active person in the community. I see it very important to be able to help the community by assisting different organisations. Some of the organisations include the Rotary Club of Victoria Park. I have been president in a series of different office bearers there. I'm currently secretary, and that opened the door to many, many other organisations. They include the Connect Victoria Park, previously known as the Senior Citizens Welfare Association, the Vic Park Youth Accommodation, which is now called Victoria Park Youth Services. I have a strong link into the Christian Centre of Social Action. I also am on the board at Ursula Frayne currently. I find that in particular I've done work with the Men's Shed of recent time. That's probably the most recent new project, and what we've done is we've established a men's shed at the Police and Citizens Youth Club in Ankertel Street in Kensington for the town of Victoria Park. The men's shed has got a number of interesting people in it. When we set up the constitution, we made sure that it's multi-gender, in other words male and female, and everyone is invited to attend. We do a lot of good work there. We're finding that the premises currently are very small, but what we're doing is we are now moving to a bigger facility that's on the drawing board. It's exciting working to get that up and get it working with the other stakeholders.
Well, I hate to see that rabbit get away.
I'm a semi-active retiree. I haven't got to the retirement phase yet. I've had children go through the school. I've lived in this community for 30 odd years, 30 plus years now. And what's happened is that the children have grown through my hands. They're beautiful children, I have to say. And I now find that I have some spare time to help the community. I probably work still about 50% of the time. Now when I say that, I'm saying that some of it's paid and a lot of it's very much voluntary work, but I enjoy doing it. It gets me out of home and it increases my skills and I can contribute to the community in which I live. I generally am on a series of boards that help people do more for their community than otherwise would be done. I have enjoyed doing that, and I'd recommend to everyone that they give serious consideration to getting out of their gated communities if they live in such a thing and meet members of the community, contribute strongly to the community such that the community is better for all. You may not get any financial rewards, but the rewards of working for the community, you get to know a lot more people, you feel a lot safer in the community, and you generate a much better community that serves other people. It's just a ripple down effect. It's about as much as I can say.
I'm gonna take you to your mama, payday.
Hello, my name's Paul Gilbert. My age is 23. I'm an athlete. I represented Australia. I've won a world bronze medal in the 4x4 Australian relay. Then I went skydiving and I was training for the 2012 Olympics, and unfortunately while skydiving I injured myself. So when I chose to do skydiving, initially I wanted to do it for some excitement, some different feel that I don't get from running, some more adrenaline sort of feeling. I was on break after nationals. I thought, you know, have a bit of a fun time skydiving. When the parachute clicked up, it felt like a pull, and it was really weird because I've never felt a feeling of going so fast and just suddenly just gliding. It was something unreal. And then when I was landing, unfortunately, the guy said to stretch my legs out when landing. I was trying to straighten them in the approach of landing, but I was cramping up to a slight degree, maybe because of the temperature or something, and I couldn't quite straighten them out. But he said, just keep trying, like, you'll be all right. And then eventually got them as straight as possible. But when landing, I don't know exactly how it happened, but I just landed and it was a bit rough. I landed on the hip, and then straight away after I landed, I felt pain in that area, and I was a bit devastated. But yeah, there was just a feeling of like, I don't know what happened. So a few months later, I realised that I teared my labral area from the skydiving. But since then, I haven't let that get me down. I'm now studying accounting. and I'm getting back into swimming, and I've had recent surgery on the hip to fix what has been done. They were partially able to fix it. Swimming, it's a very slow and painful experience because there's not much physically I can do with my body, but it's good because at least I'm doing something like the prescribed method of swimming is with a pool buoy using my arms. Now I swim about 2 k's every day, just doing my arms with the pool buoy there, not moving my legs. Just recently, about a week ago, the doctor has given me the all clear to start fully using my legs again. Now I'm swimming with a squad every Wednesday night, and I'm actually really fast in the water. At the moment I'm smashing everyone in the squad. I'm swimming really fast. So I know that the hip doesn't really limit my ability to swim, but at the moment I'm using full legs, slowly getting my Ks up. I can probably do a kilometre using my legs, so at the moment I'm just slowly trying to do the rehab, do more leg speed every day and swim 2 kilometres eventually just with the legs. And I'm going to be running this week and seeing how that goes. So I like running because of the passion that I feel when I run. Like my heart sort of really loves the feeling of just racing, the feeling of being number one, the feeling of the adrenaline rushing through the body, whole feeling of just racing and passing someone, and that feeling of glory and tiredness after a race. It's just, it's speechless. It's only like one in a lifetime. Not many people feel it, you know. And now I am wanting to run again and race again. I'm very determined to either race in swimming or competitively race in running. I will not be letting this get me down. I will be racing again. My aim at this time is to try to get back into running and maybe make the 2012 the 2016 Olympics or 2020 Olympics, but I will be racing again, and I will somehow get through this hard time. But I'm very positive, and my studies are going well, and yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, my name's Tony Rodaro. I'm really happy to be involved in this program. I was born with cerebral palsy. 18 months after I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, I was placed in the institution until I was 17. Not the most pleasant environment to be in, but still, that's the way it was back when I was born in 1954. When I was 17, I escaped from the institution, got a dishonourable discharge, wondered what I'd do after that, and I decided that I wanted to go to school. I had to persuade a lot of people that it was possible. I was unemployed and not doing much with my life. I'd been through vocational rehab, done all the right things, but just couldn't get a job. It was a time in my life when I was depressed, and I went and saw a social worker and said I really need to do something with my life. And she suggested that I apply for a position working with unemployed youth. In the meantime, the coordinator saw that I really was then really related to the unemployed kids and suggested university social work degree, and to my dismay I said, according to the professionals, that's not possible. Then in 1978, to my surprise, I was accepted into Curtin University as a social work student. Yeah, so for someone that physically can't write, who had to find ways of doing assignments and yeah, it was a challenge, and I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed university life. Sometimes a bit too much, but that just shows I'm normal in many ways. I studied hard but partied hard as well. I completed my social work degree in 1983, and 2 weeks after that I was fortunate enough to get to obtain a job in a rehabilitation unit as a social worker, supporting people who acquired disabilities. So I did that for 10 years, and I went and worked for Silver Chain for a couple of years, where I managed a project called Community Options, and it was designed for people who were elderly people and people with disabilities who were at risk of institutionalisation if they didn't get the support. So that meant that I was able to use my creativity, my knowledge, my expertise to help people stay in their own home, which that's what they wanted to do. And then I left and got a job with TAFE. My job was to support people with disabilities who wanted to study. Soon was knocking on my door with all sorts of issues that they want to resolve. So I'm proud to say that there's many people with disabilities out in the workforce, mainly tradespeople, semi-professionals. Because of my intervention, people with disabilities are now not forced into institutions. The government realises by providing support out in the community. People with disabilities, like everybody else, can live regular lives. People with disabilities have got the same aspirations, dreams, wishes as everybody else, but they may need additional support to get that, and many people have benefited from that. We've certainly got away from disability being seen as a medical problem. It's now seen more as a social issue, meaning that, the emphasis is not so much on fixing the person, but it's changing the person's environment to suit them. Once you've got a disability, in most cases, it can't be fixed. But what can be fixed is the environment, attitudes, and things that we do to give people with disabilities the opportunity to get out there and do what they have to do.